kindergartners. Today I want to teach you a lesson about animal writing. Animal writing. As writers, we can write about all sorts of things. We can write about things we know. We can write about things we imagine, stories in our head. We can write about things we do. We can also write about information we get. So when we're writing about animals, we can write about everything we know about animals, all about animals, to teach our readers about what we know. So when we're doing animal writing, we have to make sure we have 4 things in our writing. 4 things in our writing. The first thing we need to have, number 1, is where they live. Where does the animal live? Where they live. The very first thing we have to have is where they live. Does the animal live in the forest? Does the animal live in the desert? Does the animal live in the ocean? Does the animal live in a bush? Underground? Where does the animal live? Where they live. The second thing we have to have is what they look like. What does the animal look like? Is the animal brown? Is the animal white? Does the animal have fur? Does the animal have scales, like a snake? Right? Does the animal have fins, like a fish? What does the animal look like? The third thing we need for our animal writing is what they eat. What food do they eat? Do they eat berries? Do they eat meat? Do they eat leaves? What does the animal eat? Do they eat other fish? What do they eat? So where do they live? What they look like? Number 2. What they eat? Number 3. And finally, what do they do? What they do. So this 4th category can include all sorts of things, and it can include lots of details. What do they do? For example, do they run? Do they climb? Do they fly? Do they swim? What do they do? Okay, so for animal writing, we need to have these 4 things: where they live, what they look like, what they eat, and what they do. I'm going to show you how we do this with a book. Now, we have lots of resources for finding out information about animals. You can go online at Get Epic. There's a whole section on animals that you can read. You might have stories at home. Our Let's Find Out magazines also have a lot of things about, and Science Spin have lots of things about animals. So go and find something that you can look up, either on the internet, in a book, or go to Let's Find Out, Get Epic, Raz Kids has stuff, or Science Spin. I'm going to pick this one. This is our book called A Baby Penguin Story. This is by Martha E.H. Rusted, and Gail Sanders Smith, PhD, was the editor. So let's read A Baby Penguin Story. Thinking about those 4 things. Where they live, where do penguins live? What they look like, what do they look like? Just looking at the cover, I can tell you I see black and white, and I see orange beak, and I see a beak. I see this looks like flippers, it doesn't look like an arm. What do they eat and what they do? A white egg sits in a rocky nest. A tired dad sits on top. Pip, the egg cracks. Oh, so just looking at it, look at this penguin. What does it look like? Is it big or small? It looks pretty small to me. I see white on the belly, black on the back. I see orange on the beak. I see what looks like a tail. Out hatches a fluffy penguin chick. Cheep, chatter, peep. The tiny chick is hungry. Its mom spits up fish into its open mouth. Oh, what does it eat? Oh, I've already answered 2 sections. What does it look like? It's white and black and has orange beak and flippers. And what does it eat? Fish. Burr, shiver, ah, cuddle. Mom huddles around her chick. In its icy world, the chick stays warm. I'm getting clues about where it lives. It lives somewhere that's icy and cold. Hello, who are you? The chick finds friends in its colony. The colony is all of the penguins together. Baby chicks play while their parents find food. I just found a clue about what they do. They play. It says they play. Waddle, waddle, belly slide. The young penguins go for an icy ride. Ooh, here's another clue. And look at the picture. I see snow and ice. So penguins live where it's cold and icy. Back they hop across rocky ground. So I found another piece of information about what penguins do. Penguins waddle and belly slide. So not only, if we look back here, do they play, we can also see that they waddle, that's how they walk, and they slide on their bellies. Molt, scratch, pick. Fluffy feathers fall off the chick. Oh, how do they look? They have feathers. With its beak, it preens, it makes it beautiful. New waterproof feathers. Oh, the penguin has feathers. That's one of the ways it looks. Splish, splash, it's time to learn. Swift swimming skills. The penguin chick needs speed to catch a tasty swarm of krill. Krill is a kind of fish. Wow, I'm finding out so much about this animal, about penguins. They live where it's icy and cold. They are white and black. They have feathers. They have a beak. They have flippers. What do they eat? They eat krill, which is a kind of fish. They eat fish. And what do? They swim, they waddle, they belly slide, and they play. That's a lot of details. You go first. No, you jump in. Through cold ocean waves, penguins seem to fly. Their wings act as flippers. Ooh, look. So these are called wings, actually. They're called wings, but they use them as flippers. The chick swims up for air. It dives down deep. Catch a fish, swallow it live. Yum. Again, finding out what does a penguin eat? It eats fish. Now it's time for goodbye. The young penguin is off to catch fishy snacks. Someday it will return to build its own nest. And there it goes. You see the white and the black feathers, the beak, the tail, the wings. It's swimming and going to eat fish. All right. So using that information, kindergartners, I can do my writing. My 4 pieces of information I need. Penguins, where do they live? They live where it's icy and cold, according to the book. What do they look like? They're white and black. They have beaks, orange beaks, and wings. What do they eat? Well, it said it 3 times. They eat fish. What do? They waddle, they play, they swim, they belly slide, right? So I have a lot of details I can add, but I need to have at least one piece of information for each of those 4 things. So I'm going to write my name and the date at the top of my page. Right here at the top, just to remind myself, I'm going to draw a sketch. A sketch is just a little drawing of my penguin. Okay, it doesn't have to be a fancy sketch, just a little sketch. Okay, there's my penguin. Okay, and if I wanted, I could even take a crayon or a marker and draw the parts that are black, right, to remind myself. Right, and we had, there's its wing. They called that a wing. And I even had a little tail. Okay, so this has some stuff that goes across. So this is going to be my penguin. And if you look back at the book, you'll see, let's see, the penguin also has, oh, let me find a better picture, orange feet. So I'm going to get, very quickly, an orange marker on my drawing for the beak, orange beak, and orange feet. Okay. So now that I have my quick drawing, I'm going to write about my penguins. Penguins. P-pen-gwin. Penguins. First thing, where do they live? Live. L-I-V-E, Ethan. Penguins live where, that's our sight word, where, starts with our W-H-E-R-E. Fingers facing, it, I-T, is. Where do they live? Oh, where it's cold. Cold. K. O for O-L-D. Period. And what do they look like? They are black and white. They, sight word they. Fingers facing, sight word are. Fingers facing, black. What's that first sound? B. Yep, B like a big belly. Bull, L. Ah, like an apple. Ah, k, and a k, and a k. Black. And, A-N-D. Fingers facing white. White has my letter pair W-H. I. T. What do I need at the end to make that I say its name? You got it. Black and white. And what do they eat? They eat, oh, it said it a lot. What do they eat? Let's look. If I forget, I can always look. They eat tasty swarm of krill. They eat fish. They, T-H-E-Y. Eat. Eat has my letter pair, like read and eat. E-A. Eat. Fingers facing. I'm going to go down to the next line. Fish. F. I, straight out, I, shh, it's my letter pair, shh, fish, period. And finally, what do they do? Oh, I know they swim. So I'm going to write they swim. Yep, S-W, I, straight out, I, swim. What else do they do? They waddle. I can even copy it from here. Waddle. D. I've got a wonky. Waddle. And play. P. Yep, it's a P. P-O-L. A. I like to play. A-Y. Period. Now I can go back and read my writing to make sure I have those four things. Where does the penguin live? What does it look like? What does it eat? And what does it do? Let's check. Penguins live where it is cold. Yep, check it off. That's where they live. They are black and white. Yep, check it off. That's what they look like. They eat fish. Check it off. That's what they eat. They swim, waddle, and play. Check. Now, kindergartners, it's your turn. I want you to pick an animal that you want to write about. Get as much information as you can about it. And do your writing where you include where they live, what they look like, what they eat, and what they do. Okay? We want to practice this with not just one animal, but one animal every day. You're going to become animal experts. Learn as much as you can about as many animals as you can in the next 2 weeks so that we can write all about them, get all of our information about them, and then we're going to do a little project with that. Okay? So go ahead, pick your animal, get your information about the animal, and in your writing include where do they live, what do they look like, what they eat, and what they do. And take a picture and send it in to Miss Mulder. All right?